almost $40,000 8 months in from being a flight attendant.
I just wanna be happy, happy tonight.
Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Priscilla, and today once again we're here to talk about the money. I have been with the company for 9 months now, training included, being off of probation included, being on probation included, and it's been a total of 9 months. I started March 2023 and we're currently in January 2024, but this video is going to focus on how much I have earned between March 2023 to December 2023. What to expect in today's video would be my pay essentially over that period of time, where I would actually share the actual income that I earned while I was in training and the income I earned once I got on the line. Mind you, when you get off probation, your pay doesn't change. You get a pay raise after your 1-year anniversary essentially. So me being off of probation did not come with any additional income in any way. That's why I'm doing it all together. And then subsequently, once I've been there for a year, I will then talk about how much I earned over 1-year period. So this is for 9 months. Keep that in mind. This is strictly for 9 months. So you do the math to see if you can or cannot potentially make close to $50,000 or $60,000. So let's get into it. The incomes I've earned so far. So when I was in training, my hourly pay for training was, I believe, the minimum wage of Atlanta at that time, and I think it was $7.31, and I was paid 40 hours a week during training. But at the end of the day, the amount of pay that I was making, the first pay that I got during training was, I was paid every 2 weeks, was $308.15, and then from then on it became $739 and some change. And then it also ended up being, my last pay actually included my orientation pay as well, and at that time I was earning my hourly pay as a new flight attendant, which is $33.81, was $820.38. So for training pay as a whole, the 6 weeks that I was in training including orientation, I made $2,607.65, and this is before taxes. Once again, I'm gonna say this again, I do not talk about post-tax pay or what my actual take-home pay was, because it differs from state to state, among other things. There's so many factors that goes into what your actual pay would be at the end of the day, and I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty of that information. I just want to show you what I earned pre-tax and pre-deductions. So for training pay, which was for 6 weeks, March 13th to the end of April, I made $2,607.65. After that, I started earning my hourly pay of $33.81. Once again, I've done a full video on what the flight attendant pay is, what goes into what, and how our pay is calculated. I have a full playlist in the description box below on flight attendant pay. So if you're looking for more details as to how I arrived at these numbers, please go ahead and check out that video. You will find a lot of details with regards to our pay, but this video is just going to focus on how much I earned and where I am right now, 9 months into the job. So moving on, let's talk about my pay after I was out of training. So between May to December, how much I earned as a flight attendant, I was not doing the most. I was not overworking. I was literally doing the bare minimum because I did not want to stress myself. Like I said, I chose a soft life in 2023 and it's gonna continue in 2024. So I was not doing the most at all. Like, don't get me wrong, I was not overworking myself. I was working my 80s. Sometimes I got used on my reserve days. Sometimes I did not get used on my reserve days. I picked up a few trips here and there, but I made sure to get a minimum of 10 days off every month. So whatever amounts you're hearing, it's from somebody who did not do the most. My first few months, I was not picking up extra trips. What I did do though was to work high credit trips. So a lot of my 3-day trips were over 20 hours or 20 hours. So that's what I did do to maximize my time. And if I picked up a turn, it was either 10 hours, the minimum was 7 hours. So keep that in mind. I just want to say that because this should let you know that potentially if you do want to do the most, even as a new flight attendant, you can make good money. So the amount I'm about to share with you all is between May to December. So May of 2023 to December 2023. Keep that in mind. So between May to December 2023, I made a collective amount of $39,155.69. Once again, between May to December of 2023, the total income I made from being a flight attendant, a new flight attendant, I was never with the company in the past. My seniority literally started. My pay scale literally started from the very minimal amount, which is the $33.81, and I made $39,155.69. So in total, for being with the company as a new flight attendant, including training pay, which is the minimum wage of Atlanta, $7.30 whatever cents, and my new higher pay, I did not start from the 5th year pay scale. I started from the 1st year pay scale of $33.81. For 9 months now, I have made $41,763.34. And like I said in the beginning, I did not do anything extra. The highest number of hours that I worked during any of the months that I worked was 117 hours. I did not do 120. I didn't do 130, 140, 150. No, I was literally working an average of about 110 hours. And that I started doing that, I think, in my 3rd month of being on the line. So it was just recently that I started. I think during August or July or something like that I started. So the first few months I was not doing beyond what I was scheduled, aside from my 80s, my reserve period or whatever, and the trips that I was given. So this is coming from somebody who was literally doing the bare minimum for the most part. I was not overworking myself at all, and I still made $41,763.34. During the summer, we did get summer incentives where I earned about a few dollars here and there for working over the summer and working over 90 hours during that summer period. So that added on as well. And also I had new hire meetings that I was paid to attend. So it was pre-plotted on my schedule like a trip. Though I wasn't actually flying, I was getting paid my hourly flight time pay, which was $33.81. During this 9 months also, I took a 2 weeks vacation as well to Accra, Ghana. So I wasn't working during that period and I wasn't getting paid during that period. I say vacation because it's time off, but it wasn't like me using vacation time and getting paid. So during that 2 months, aside from getting the days off that I had, I also took 2 weeks off of no flying. I wasn't paid for that time as well. The only vacation pay that I got was for like a few hours that I earned because of when I started working. I started literally towards the end of when you could earn vacation time, so I earned just a few hours, and that was like about $195 or so. So that was it. This is it, y'all. For 9 months already, I have been making, or have made, $41,763.34. I know people that were flying averagely 120 hours, 130 hours, people that were doing a lot of flying, even though they were new. So imagine what they're making or what they've made so far. And I can honestly tell you there are people who are new like me, who started with me, that have literally surpassed $50,000 already 9 months in. So this is why when I did the live, when I was talking about how much you can make your first year, because I'm already at $41,000. So if I consistently make $5,000 every month between now, January to March, that would give me an additional $15,000 right there. So that's what, that would put me at almost $56,000 as my first year of a flight attendant, working the bare minimum, not doing the most, y'all. So yeah, this is a reality, y'all. Like I said, I always come with you all with the true tea. I'm here to provide you all with all the information just to get you armed and ready, and also to give you a better understanding of what the reality of the job will potentially be for you if you're trying to become a flight attendant. I'm here about the money. And yes, here we are, y'all. I've made $41,763 at the moment. The income you earn, honestly, is highly dependent on how much flying you do. Obviously, when you first start, there are some activities which I mentioned earlier, and when you start matters as well, because I started during the summer, or I was on the line fully during the summer, and there was a lot of flying that you could do. There were a lot of trips that you could pick up. Unlike now, between November, December, January right now, there isn't a lot of flying you can do. There isn't really a lot of trips out there. We're not even getting used on our reserve days because we're staffed to the brim and people are showing up to work. It makes a whole lot of difference because during the summer I had the luxury of picking up really good high credit trips if I wanted to, but now that's not the case. So when you start is also a huge factor as well. One thing I have learned having the flexibility that this job offers is that I can do anything else on the side that I want as long as it goes, or I can make the time for it. So during the moment when I'm not being used on my 80s, I'm literally here creating content. I'm on reserve and I'm creating content. So I'm maximizing my time. And if I know there isn't a lot of trips out there that I can pick up, then I'll just use that time to do other stuff. I think it's pretty good for just 9 months and I'm making $41,000. It's almost $42,000. I think it's pretty good for somebody who was almost 2 months out of that 9 months. I was actually earning the minimum wage of Atlanta, which is just $7. So it's actually a pretty good start, which means if you started off and you were doing the most, you could potentially be sitting at over $50,000 $50,000 right now. So for those of you that asked me whether you could make $60,000 your first year or $70,000 your first year, looking at the numbers now, because initially I hadn't really looked at the number, I was just looking at it from the perspective of not overworking and not overflying, and I did not do that. But there were other activities that earned me income as well. So if I'm sitting at $41,000 9 months in, then for your first year you can potentially make $6,000 if you do want to do a lot. Because I know people that are new just like me that try as much as possible to work well enough to make about $6,000 a month. You can actually make $60,000 if that's what you want to do. If you put in the work, you might have to do more. So if I do decide to set a goal of making $5,000 every month, that would give me an additional $15,000, which will put me at $56,000, which is close to $60,000. So those of you that wanted to know the $1 million question, can you make at least $50,000 to $60,000 your first year as a flight attendant? I think it's possible, but I'll let you know by the end of my first year, okay? This is 9 months in. Thanks for watching today's video. Once again, I do have a playlist about flight attendant pay where I actually give you a breakdown of what goes into our pay and how much we earn based on what we do. Check it out, and that would help you a lot. It's better to watch that video before this because it will make a lot more sense, because from watching that video, you would understand our pay better, and then it would direct or inform you while you watch this video. So thank you all for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.